Hey, I guess you want to follow along on one of my workouts. I would love that. But I think there are some basic rules we need to establish and things we should go over first. So let's do that. Your safety is my #1 priority when making these workouts. So please, go see your physician if you have any underlying heart conditions before performing one of these workouts. To monitor your heart rate throughout the workout, if you have an Apple Watch or a wearable, that's preferable.
While we're on the note of safety, remember, I can't physically fix your form if I'm not with you in person. So I need you to replicate these movement patterns to the best of your ability with perfect form. You're going to also hear audible cues. So if you have headphones in loud environments, it's going to help you understand what you should and shouldn't be doing.
To get the most out of these workouts, simply set your phone or tablet up, follow along with the instructions and try to keep pace, and just work hard. Some workouts might use equipment where it's unsafe to watch the video while trying to perform the exercise at the same time. So for these, I advise watch the video, then rewind, set your phone up off to the side, and then perform the exercise while only listening to the audible cues. Use your own best judgment for this. Oof, that made things awkward.
And that's essentially it. Follow these workouts, work as hard as you possibly can, and on a week-to-week basis, make sure you're thinking of increasing one variable like weight or reps or tempo or something. The last thing I want to say is just a thank you. The fact that you're here with me today tells me that you're willing to dedicate energy and time to try to better yourself, and the fact that you're using me as a resource to do so really does mean a lot. So thank you with all my heart, and enjoy your workout. In today's workout, our goal is to work our upper body. To do so, we're going to be performing pushing and pulling movements that are supersetted together every round to help us build muscle and strength in important ranges of motion that we're going to be going through on a day-to-day basis. Today, we're going to need a couple pieces of equipment. We'll need things like a lacrosse ball, a foam roller, mini bands, a resistance band, a pull-up bar, a set of dumbbells or a kettlebell, as well as a cable machine. Without further ado, let's get started. Before we start today's workout, we're going to do a little bit of soft tissue work just to provide some blood flow and help loosen up some tight tissue in some of the muscle groups that we're going to be working today. The first things we're going to need is a lacrosse ball or a large myofascial release ball, as well as a foam roller. The first thing I want us to do is start by laying face down. I'm going to set a timer for 45 seconds. We're going to do this rather quick. If you need to spend more time loosening up some tight tissue, please do take your time. We're going to lay face down and put a lacrosse ball on one shoulder. From here, I'm going to apply pressure down, and I'm going to think of trying to get my elbow to the floor, and then bringing it all the way up behind me as high as I can. Now, as you do this, you're going to feel this is extremely painful, and this tissue is really tender. So what we're trying to do, again, is loosen this tissue up, show it some love, provide some blood flow, help fluid dynamics, and this, in theory, will help us get into better positions, helping us work this tissue a little bit better, helping us build more muscle, get stronger in these movement patterns that we're performing, all of the above. We can make small circles. We don't just have to go up and down with our elbow. If it's really painful, we just take deep breaths and relax. Relaxing on this is really important. That was our 45 seconds, so let's switch sides. Reset my timer, and here we go again. If you need to spend more time doing this, please spend more time. You know your body better. If you know you have a shoulder injury in the past, maybe you have less shoulder mobility on one side, whatever it may be, spend the extra time. Maybe you're having a slow start to working out, you don't have the energy, you need to hype yourself up a bit. Just spend a couple extra minutes thinking about how important this is today, taking yourself through these ranges of motion. We're not going to get better if we don't work hard and do some hard work. And in today's workout, we're going to focus on, again, doing some upper body movement patterns that are going to build a lot of muscle at once, that are going to work multiple joints and multiple muscle groups at once. And they're going to be a lot more beneficial than you doing some isolating exercises. And you'll learn about how your body moves. And that was 45 again. Next, we're going to put our lacrosse ball down, and we're going to use something a little bit more generalized to work a little bit bigger tissue. So we're going to use our lacrosse, our foam roller. So while laying on our side, I'm going to reset our timer for 45 seconds. The foam roller is starting at about the lower portion of my lat, okay, the muscle that runs up my side. With one arm above my head, I roll myself down using my legs as leverage, and I roll myself up. Now, again, this tender tissue is going to hurt, so we need to be slow, and we might again just want to take deep breaths. We can roll up and down like I was just showing you. If you want to sit still, you can just roll up and down, but it's really important to think of elbow back behind your head as far as you can, behind and up as high as you can. This is going to expose more of that tissue for you to be able to roll out. Again, give it some love, help provide blood flow. Ooh, this is extremely tight tissue if you do a lot of upper body work and pulling. And when this tissue gets really tight, it starts to add to some shoulder blade dysfunction, which is going to hurt you when you try to get your arm overhead in some of these overhead press positions. Now we're going to switch sides. Same concept, 45 seconds. I know everyone's always short on time. We're trying to rush right into our workouts, but it's extremely important to remember this soft tissue work is only going to add to our workouts by helping us fire the tissue better and activate it, right? Helping us be more effective in building muscle and moving weight so we can get stronger, as well as just lower our risk of injury because we can get into these positions a little bit better. And I think it's a nice reminder of, okay, this is the tissue we're trying to work today. I can think in my head the task at hand today, the movement patterns that I'm going to perform. If you haven't done this workout yet, you got good things coming. I'm excited for you to try these exercises. If you have done this before, maybe today we push the envelope and you do an extra rep or two. Maybe you do a couple extra pounds. Maybe you slow the time under tension down. We need to make this a little bit more challenging on us than it previously was so we can adapt and get better. Okay, next, we're going to now move from doing some muscular work to doing some just back health work. We're going to lay face up on the foam roller since we're here already. We're going to go into a posterior pelvic tilt, meaning I push my lower back down against the ground. Should feel like I'm activating my core. Hands are on my head. I now take a deep breath out. And I try to relax my head all the way down to the ground, or as close to as I can get. Now, if I try to go any further, I'm just going to arch my back and go into extension. And that's not the point. The point is to go through thoracic extension. Again, tuck that pelvis, deep breaths out. Really just trying to relax over this. If you're someone who sits a ton at work all day, this is really important to open up some of the tissue of our upper back. That was 45 seconds, but I'm going to do one more. This feels really good. And again, spend more time here if you need. Some people might need a little bit more postural work because of some patterns you've been sitting in and doing for a long time, a period of time. Backpacks are a slow killer with bad posture. Okay, next, we're going to be lying on our side and we're going to do some thoracic rotation now. So I have one leg up at 90 degrees on top of the foam roller. My opposite hand is out. From here, I want to make a T and take a deep breath out and try to pin my opposite shoulder all the way down to the ground. Now, if you can't get here and you can only get here, guess what? That's great because now we got some room for improvement. Deep breath out and let's reset. Let's do 3 of these per side with a good slow range of motion that should take about 45 seconds with you relaxing. One more. Again, if you want to spend more time here because this feels really good, please do. If you're someone that plays a rotational sport, you're going to see the applicability to you being able to produce more power. You're going to reduce your risk of injury because now you can rotate from the correct portion of your body, your upper spine, your thoracic spine, lowering your risk of injury to things like your lower back. And you're just going to improve power and performance and the longevity of your spine. It's really important because of all the inefficiencies in our day-to-day of sitting and doing things that are harmful to our body over time, that we reward ourselves and treat our bodies well by moving and going through these big ranges of motion. So that completes the movement prep, or at least the myofascial release. Next, we're going to move on to the movement prep to try to work on activating some tissue before we get started with our workout. Let's do that now. Next, for our movement prep, we're going to be needing a mini band, something preferably that's a light, as well as a resistance band. If we're strong enough, we don't need one, and a pull-up bar, something that we can hang from. I said we're going to need a mini band, and that's the first thing we're going to start with. We're going to take our hands and place our hands inside of the mini band. And then from here, I'm going to think about pulling the mini band apart, thinking of external rotation. My hands are wider than my elbows. And while I'm maintaining this, you're going to feel some activation in your shoulder. I squeeze my butt and my belly, and I press my arms all the way overhead. I don't need to lock them out and get them behind my head. I just need to lock out over my head, and then I bring them all the way back down. We're gonna keep a nice slow pace, and we're gonna do 15 repetitions of this. The goal here is to warm up our external rotators and strengthen them, which is a large reason why people hurt their shoulders. The posture they have throughout the day, those muscles get weak and lengthened. And the ones that get shortened are the internal rotators and tight, increasing our risk of injury, and also makes it challenging for us to get into certain positions with good posture. Again, pull this band apart, deep breath, squeeze your butt and belly. Bring it all the way down below my chin, locking my elbows out over my head. Again, super important, full range of motion, especially when we're doing pressing movements, so we don't lose this ability over time of getting our arms all the way overhead. Ooh, it burns. And again, no internal rotation here. Pull this thing apart. Keep those forearms as vertical as you can. Deep breath. Almost done, 15 total. We're gonna be doing a lot of pressing exercises today. I wanna make sure that we're safe and that we're working the correct musculature. Okay, good. Next, we have a band set up for us to be doing scap pull-ups. What's a scap pull-up? Sounds challenging. Well, it's not a pull-up, and we're gonna make sure our elbows stay locked out. So we're gonna step into a band for most of us, so set up a resistance band around a pull-up bar, step up onto something if you need to be able to insert your foot and press it down. I'm tall enough, thankfully, so I can just pull the band down, step in. Now from here, I'm gonna grab with an overhand grip, and I'm just gonna relax and hang. If you're someone that's not strong enough, you can keep your feet on the ground with a Smith machine or a barbell on a rack, and just bend your knees and practice doing this without the full load of your body weight hanging. And we're just gonna go in scapula depression, pushing my shoulder blades all the way down, and then relax and let them elevate. We're gonna do 10 repetitions with a 2-second hold at the top. Now this is really important. We're gonna stretch out the tissue of our shoulders and kind of decompress our lower back a bit and decompress our shoulders. But we're also learning scapula depression, which is so important because we need to do this before we do our pull-ups to make sure that we're activating the right tissue and that we're not internally rotating forward. Deep breaths. Again, if you're not strong enough for this, if you don't have a band, you can just bend your knees to take some load away from your body, have your feet on the floor. Make sure your elbows are straight. One for good luck. And really try to go through a large range of motion. Please be safe stepping in and out of the band. And that concludes our movement prep. Now we're gonna move on to our actual workout. Let's get going. Circuit number 1, we got 2 exercises we're gonna perform back to back, and then we get a short rest. The only equipment we're gonna need for this round is gonna be a resistance band as well as a pull-up bar. That means we're doing pull-ups. I highly recommend you get a resistance band. This is gonna help you do better pull-ups, and it's gonna help us get stronger to the point where we don't need it anymore. The 2 movement patterns we're gonna perform are gonna be a set of pull-ups, 10 repetitions, and when we're finished with that, we're gonna do a set of push-ups for 15 repetitions. If we can't get 15 repetitions, we're gonna try to regress the variation to make it easier and try to do our best to get to that point. If we're still not strong enough, let's do as many as we can, let's record it, and let's do better next week. So, let's start this first set off. First thing, like I mentioned before, we're doing some pull-ups. So, I'm gonna take my pull-up band, loop it around my pull-up bar. Then, most people are not tall enough to be able to pull this down to their foot, so I'm gonna step up onto a box or something, and then I push my foot down. Okay, we are doing a neutral grip pull-up. My hands are going to be in the middle facing each other. If your bar doesn't have that, you can do an underhand grip. From here, I start by depressing my shoulder blades down, right? I want to think of elevating myself like those scap pull-ups. I slightly arch my back, I look up to the sky, I pull, pinch my shoulder blades, slow and controlled on the way down. Deep breath out. The one thing we want to make sure we don't do is round our shoulders forward and internally rotate. That's just going to work our biceps. Depress, pull, pinch, forward, nice and smooth. Pull-ups are one of my favorite back exercises. It's going to help build muscle, build strength, help work on grip strength. I like the band a lot more than I do assisted pull-up machines. 2 more. Last one. And if you need more band, use it. Or if you can't do 10 reps, make sure you're at least doing 6, and we'll try to progress the next time. Next, we're gonna move on to some push-ups. We're gonna come down to the floor. Now, once we get into our push-up position, we're gonna think of
Shoulders stacked directly over hands. We don't want our center of gravity shifting back. Nice tight belly, neutral spine. From here, I descend down with my elbows close to my side. I think of retracting my shoulder blades. I explode all the way up, making sure again I have a neutral spine, okay? Elbows in, 15 reps, explode all the way up. We do not want to go into internal rotation, right? We don't want wide elbows. We want to think of elbows close to our side. And again, we want to make sure we're maintaining a neutral spine and we're not doing the worm. If we start to do the worm and we're not strong enough, let's go to our knees. Deep breaths. Throw the pride out the window. Do good form so we know if we're getting better and stronger. If these are still really hard, another thing that we can do is we can perform these from a bench. Now we have a little bit more of a vertical torso angle, taking some weight off, making this a little easier. And again, the goal is to be able to do 15 repetitions with good form. If you can't do 15 reps with good form, we need to regress to make this a little easier. So that's round one. We're gonna take a short rest now. We're gonna come on back. You're not gonna have me audibly giving you cues. You're just gonna have the visuals. So pay attention, watch your own form, and I'll see you for the next circuit.
All right, circuit number 2, we're gonna do the same concept, 2 exercises back to back, and then we'll get a short rest. The only equipment we're gonna need here is a bench or a box, something to put our hand, as well as a dumbbell or a kettlebell. The first movement pattern we're gonna perform is a single arm dumbbell row. Row the weight up, keep a neutral spine, work on strengthening our back and building some muscle. When we're finished doing that, we're gonna work on doing an overhead press from a half kneeling position, okay? The first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna do that single arm row. So let's get started. So we're gonna do 12 repetitions. When we do this, again, the most important concept is we have a neutral spine. Some people put their knee on a bench, some people just angle themselves in different positions. I like to practice this as if I'm deadlifting something up, having my feet under my center of gravity. I hold on to the weight. The first thing I do is push my shoulder blade down and back. I'm in a good stable position. From here, I got my weight dispersed on my front hand, equally between my legs. I'm pushing my butt back in a hip hinge, right? My knees aren't coming forward really far. Then from here, I row the weight up, pinch my shoulder blade, nice and slow and controlled on the way down. We're doing 12 repetitions. The things we want to look for: do not round and go into flexion here. This is going to increase your risk of injury. We want a neutral spine and we want our shoulder blade down and back. I also like to think as my hand is a hook and I'm not death gripping the weight, I'm just making my back do the work by driving my elbow back, pinching that shoulder blade. 3 more. I also need to make sure that I'm bracing my belly. I take a deep breath of air in and I push out against my abdominal wall, right? Have that Valsalva maneuver. Next side. Back nice and straight. Pull, pinch. The other thing is I'm not pulling my arms straight vertical. I'm pulling at a slight angle, like a lawnmower cord. This is going to help engage my lats and take my bicep out of it. If this is too challenging and you need a surface that's a little higher up to make this a little easier because maybe your hamstrings are tight, definitely an option. But if you feel this in your lower back, we need to regress this movement and make it easier by doing a kneeling cable row or something when you're not in this bent over hinged position that's putting you in compromised form. Okay, next, we're gonna be in a half kneeling position. Whatever knee is down is gonna be the arm that's pressing overhead. I'm gonna keep my belly tight, make sure I'm upright, keep a neutral position, vertical forearm, press my arm all the way up next to my ear. Good, and maintain good posture. Tight belly, press, finish right next to my ear. I'm not finishing out in front of me, which I'll show you from the side. I'm finishing right next to my ear. Overhead pressing is a wonderful way of doing anti-extension, resisting the urge of arching my back, because I gotta make my core work to protect my spine. 9, as you can tell, my elbow's not wide, right? I'm thinking of neutral position here, almost as if I was doing a kettlebell press. Last one. 12. Okay. Now, let me switch, show you from this angle. Again, half kneeling position, neutral spine, kettlebell racked right at my side, or dumbbell racked right at my side, tight belly, finish right next to my ear, all the way down to my shoulder. I'm not doing half reps, stopping here, full range of motion. 12 total. Like I said before, I'm not finishing out in front of me. I'm finishing directly next to my ear. I'm not arching my back. I'm maintaining a neutral spine. If you can't get into a good position here overhead, when we go to do this again, we're going to regress this, and we're going to do wall angels or something for shoulder mobility. If you want to keep working out your chest and shoulders, you can do more push-ups, but again, we need to loosen some of that tissue so you can get into better positions, because right now you're too pulled forward and you're hindered in getting in that overhead position. So there you go, there's that circuit. We're gonna take a small rest. You're gonna come back and do this again. You're not gonna have me audibly giving you cues, so pay attention to your form, do good, and I'll see you in a minute. Next circuit, 2 more exercises. The equipment we're gonna need here is a cable machine or a lat pull down machine, as well as a dumbbell or a kettlebell. The first movement pattern we're gonna perform is gonna be a lat pull down, working on strengthening our back, isolating our back a little bit, as well as doing a kettlebell halo to work on shoulder mobility and strengthening our shoulder through a long range of motion. Let's get started. So first thing, we're gonna do 12 repetitions of a lat pull down. So again, we can set up a cable machine, makeshift like I did here, or you can use an actual lat pull down machine. Again, first step, scapula depression. We push our shoulder blades down. From here, I pull the bar all the way to the top of my chest. I retract my shoulder blades, and then I slowly let the bar all the way up. Time under tension is very important here, so slow on the way up. Our hands are hooks. We're driving our elbows down, trying to do all the work with our back and not our arms. Again, make sure we do not, when we pull down like pull-ups, round into internal rotation, retract those shoulder blades. Cables are great for isolating your back and working on time under tension, and that's exactly what we're doing here. We're not trying to move a crazy amount of weight. Again, we're just focusing on perfect form and really trying to isolate and feel this in our lats. Last one, big pinch of the shoulder blades, slow on the way up. Ooh, perfect, okay, sweating. Next, let's do those halos. So you can do the seated, standing. For the video, I'm gonna do the seated. I'm gonna hold this kettlebell bottoms up under my chin. I'm gonna make a big circle around my head, and then I'm gonna come all the way back around the other way. I'm not rushing these reps. We're doing 10 repetitions each direction. Big circle, finish out in front below my chin, big circle. Now I'm keeping a neutral spine. This is 3, I'll show you with the dumbbell halfway. From the side, again, nice and low. I'm not doing this high up above my head, okay? Below my chin, essentially, and as far around my head as I can get it. Hence why it's called a halo. Okay, let me show you with the dumbbell. Here, all the way around. Great way of strengthening your shoulder through a long range of motion. That's really not gonna make you more tight and pulled forward like most people already are from the amount of pressing we do and just from all the sitting we do with kyphotic grounded posture. Last one here, and beautiful. All right guys, that was a great circuit. We're gonna do that 2 more times. Take a short rest, knock those out. See you in a minute.
Last circuit, we're almost finished. Last 2 exercises is only going to require a cable machine that's set up at about belly button height. The first movement pattern is going to be a single arm split stance row, and we're going to work on strengthening our back. Same thing, a lot of time under tension with the cable machine. When we're done with that, we're going to move over to a split stance single arm press. Same position, now we're pressing. So check both of these out. First thing we're going to do is that split stance row. So whatever foot is back behind you is the arm that's pulling. I get into a split stance position, back leg almost locked out, front knee almost 90-degree knee bend. From here, I'm going to pull the cable all the way back, finishing under my chest, retract my shoulder blade, and then extend all the way out without it pulling me into a bad position. Again, I pull, pinch my shoulder blade, 2. We're doing 12 repetitions here. If you need to adjust the weight, adjust the weight. Time under tension, again, slow on the eccentric. It's going to help you build more muscle, and that's what cable machines are really meant for. We're not trying to move a ton of weight to get stronger with these. It will happen, but we want to focus on isolating our back, help our posture, build some muscle. I'm not letting it yank me out of position. Again, I'm making sure I retract my shoulder blade. I'm not internally rotating, retracting down and back. Last one. And 12. Beautiful. Switch legs. Legs are getting a little work here too. Tight belly. Pull, pinch. Again, this is a great exercise. Strengthen the middle of your back, build some muscle, help with posture, and you get to isometrically work your legs and a little bit of balance. You'll see my back foot is on my toes. It's not fully flat on the floor. This again is going to make me do a little bit more stability work with my lower body. 10, 2 more. My elbow is close to my side. It's not wide out to the side of me. Okay, that's 12. Next, we're going to do the same concept, except now we're going to do it pressing. Sorry, club. We're going to do it pressing. We're going to think about stepping out with the same side. Again, that's back, is pressing. I'm going to take my shoulder blade, retract it down and back. I'm in a good position. Now I do a press. I finish all the way out, right in front of my chest, lock my elbow out, and on my way back, retract that shoulder blade. No internal rotation. 12 reps here again. Smooth, slow, explode. Elbow close to my side. I'm not wide with my elbow. It's right by my side. I got neutral wrist. 2 more. 11, last one. 12. Good. Switch position, switch feet. This is it, guys. Nice tight belly. A little bit of anti-rotation work, resisting the urge of rotating with this cable when it pulls me back. Deep breaths. It's been a great workout. We're almost there. Hope your upper body's feeling good. Again, slow time under tension. And 12. Woo! And that's all she wrote, guys. So 2 more rounds of that. Keep working hard. Take a short rest here. I'll see you at the end.
Congratulations. Thank you for working so hard today on this upper body workout. Consistency is the most important part. Thank you for working hard today, but I need you to continue working hard and your future self will thank you. Rest, recover, hydrate, get adequate nutrition in, and let's make sure every week we're making things a little bit more challenging to try to progress and shock our body and give it more stimulus. So again, thank you for choosing me as a mentor. I look forward to seeing you at the next workout. Continue working hard. Proud of you. See you soon.